Hi, welcome to another episode of I Can Alteryx That with coaches Alex and John. This is John here. In this episode, we're going to cover Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 210, Better Late Than Never. Let's get started. Alright, so in this problem, we've been given two data sets. A list of NBA All-Star selections from 2000 to the 2016 seasons, and a draft info set that contains for each year the number of rounds and the number of picks per round in the NBA draft. Our goal here is to calculate the overall pick for every player and then calculate the three players that were selected to an All-Star game whose overall pick was the highest. By overall pick, we mean, so if you're in round 1 and you're pick number 7, you were the 7th overall pick. But if you were in round 2, well, we need to know how many picks there were in the first round and then add your pick number from your given round to however many. So if in round 1 there was 30 picks and you were the 5th in round 2, then 30 plus 5 means he was the overall 35th pick. So to begin, let's go ahead and look at this All-Star data set. We have a field here called NBA draft status. It has the year in which the player was drafted, the round in which they were drafted, and then their pick in that round. We need to split those three pieces of information out. And to do that, we'll use the regular expression tool. So we'll parse the draft status column, output method parse. The regular expression, well, the draft year is always going to be a 4-digit year. So that's just \d, squiggly brackets 4 in the middle. We'll do a lazy match, so we don't know what's in the middle. Then the draft round is either a 1 or 2-digit number. So we'll do \d, 1, 2. Another lazy match. And then the pick, likewise, is a 1 or 2-digit number. So \d, 1, 2. Okay, we'll name these draft year. Make that an int. Round, make that an integer, and finally we'll call this one pick, and we'll call that an integer as well. Let's run this just to make sure that our regular expression looks good, and I think it looks good there. So the next thing I want to do is actually focus on the draft info set. I don't like the way it's shaped right now with the different rounds and as columns. So let's go ahead and transform this using the transpose tool. We'll group by year and then pivot it. That way we'll have the year column, a name column with all the rounds, and then a value column showing the number of picks in any given round. One thing I want to do now is use a data cleansing just to get rid of the letters from the name column. So we'll select name, remove all white space, and remove letters. And now, so this name column, it's still a string, and our round column up here that we're going to join it on is an integer. So let's go ahead and grab a select tool. We'll rename it to round, and we'll call this an integer as well. And now the next thing I want to do is in here, calculate the number of cumulative picks. So for round 1, the cumulative picks is 0. For round 2, the cumulative picks is 24. For round 3, the cumulative picks will be 24 plus 23, and so on. So to do that, we'll use a multi-row formula tool. And I'll call this previous round picks. We'll group by year. And we'll say if the round equals 1, then 0. Else, we want to do the previous row's value, which is the number of picks, in the one previous row, plus our running sum. So row minus 1 previous round picks. Let's go ahead and run that and make sure everything's good there. Okay, so you see here, in the second round, there's already been 24 picks. In the third round, there's already been 47, which is 24 plus 23, and so on. So I think that looks good there. So let's go ahead and join these two now. So we're going to join this on the draft year on the left side to the year on the right. and then round equals round on both. And we'll go ahead and deselect year, round, and value, because all we're really interested in here is the cumulative previous round picks field that we just created. So doing that, let's make sure everything looks good. Yep. First round guys have 0 round picks. Whoever this is in the third round had 50 picks before him, and so on. So I think that looks good. One thing that we need to work on though is we don't care about players that were elected to multiple All-Star games. All we care is that they were elected to any All-Star game, because their draft status doesn't really matter at this point. So let's just use a unique tool, drop it on here, and we'll do a unique player. And you can see that reduced our number of records quite a bit. Okay, so now what we have to do is calculate the overall draft pick. But with our previous round picks and our pick column, that'll be really easy. So we'll use a formula tool. We'll call this overall pick. And this will simply be pick plus previous round picks. Moving on, we need to sort this in descending order. So we'll sort by overall pick in descending order. And then we'll use a sample tool, or we could use a select rows tool. It doesn't really make any difference. And we'll select the first 3 records. And finally, we need the player, overall pick, and drafted columns. So we use one more select tool. Got player. The NBA draft status, they called that drafted. And then we get our overall pick, and we'll just move it up here. Doesn't matter where it is. Alright, Isaiah Thomas, 60, Manu Ginobili, 57, and Anthony Mason, 53. And there we go, an exact match. So there you have it. That's how we solved Alteryx Weekly Challenge number 210. Thanks for watching. As always, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Data Coach channel for more awesome lessons on Alteryx and all things data analytics and visualization. Follow Data Coach on Twitter at AskTessellation, and follow me personally at JEmery_DataViz. Thanks again.